Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Chili Phillies Not Tutorial. Today I'll be making this literal cute top. Gross. Thank you everybody who watched my first video. I can only improve from that first one. And this time I do have a plan and a process. I'm going to show you my general process on how I've been making these simple tops. Over the last year or so, I've gotten way more comfortable with wearing things like this, especially showing off my arms and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm going to be passing on my knowledge to you guys on how to make something similar for yourself. So let's get started with the basics. For this top, I used at least 3 and 1 of each type of pink of 30-gram thin fluffy balls of yarn. I was originally going to call this video I made a top for $5 because each ball was on sale for around 75 cents, but I think they were usually a few dollars each. I would say it was probably safe to buy at least 5 balls of the same colour yarn if you just wanted to make something like this all in one colour. Also for this project, I used my usual 7mm hook. I don't know if you can see. And then a 4mm hook for ribbing. Also, you really just need to know how to do a chain stitch. And then just the usual double/single crochet. I'll put what I best can describe as the pattern on the bottom of the screen, just if you needed some sort of like actual reference for what I'm saying I'm doing. Let's see how we go. Let me know if there's any mistakes. So I spontaneously bought this yarn from the store because it was on sale. I had never really worked with this sort of yarn before for something wearable like this, but I wanted to make something to wear at Midsummer Carnival, the upcoming Sunday. It's now a week ago, basically. I think a lot of people would expect this to be a bit warm to wear on a hot day, but the thing is with a lot of what I make, is that even though it is definitely warm enough to get sweaty, the breeze actually very much blows through. So when it blows, it is quite cold. So I guess it is a bit of both. I did buy a heap of the yellow and only a few pinks that I liked. But I wasn't actually sure what I wanted to do once I got home. So I bought like 20 balls of yarn and only used like 3. I will also say that this took a few days and I was making it until the Sunday of which I wore it out. So long process just to get to this point. So day by day. Day 1, I was thinking of doing a bit of trial and error with the start of the top. And I thought I'd try my hand at doing a text pattern. I've never done a text pattern like this before and I wasn't sure what I should put on it. Though I realised that I probably should put on something that was on brand for what I say all the time. And the one word that I always get made fun of for saying all the time is cute. So to plan out what I wanted to do for the pattern, I use Photoshop and pixel art. I think some people use programs specifically for creating patterns and other sort of programs like Excel, but I always like to make mine in Photoshop because the way I see doing this sort of stuff is a lot like pixel art. It's like 3D pixel art, and every pixel that I jot down is just another stitch. I won't cover the actual creation of the pattern and sort of how I applied it to making this today, but if you do want to know, or you don't know, or you're just fascinated, let me know in the comments and it might be a video in itself. So after planning out the pattern, I got to make it. I always try and make my tops as one piece as opposed to like 2 flat pieces sewn together. So I always make sure that I work from this side and then work all the way to the right, working vertically, so back, up and down. I start off with creating a chain that is the maximum amount of stitches for this underarm part. And for this top, it was 50. And then I worked down to the bottom of the underarm, then increased back up by chaining and working back into it. However many stitches you want to increase and decrease is up to you, but I kind of like a parabolic kind of curve. So you could have it go as straight as you want, but I really like that sort of curve that you see on most sorts of clothes, I guess. But it's at the halfway point though that the actual pattern starts. It starts sort of midway under the arm and then at the top of the shoulder, and so it's basically just 50% of the top. I decided I wanted the letters to be thicker than the main body, so I doubled up the yarn so they sort of stood out amongst the thinner yarn, and it seemed like they were sort of like floating above the top. After I've done the curve, it's time to start the main body. So I continue to work up and down the whole piece, chaining stitches for the shoulder, and then working back and forth until I reach the desired length of shoulder. So I think in this case it was another 50. I will keep in mind that if you're also going to do ribbing on the edges, you may not need it to completely go all the way to your shoulders width-wise. So I think I did 16 rows, but you know, you can leave some room for adjustment for you to create a wider ribbing, whatever. Day 2 was when I got to all the guts of it all. So I started on the center, and you know, I usually start with the back because usually there's no interest on the back. And then I only sort of drop stitches in the first 2 rows, and otherwise it's just a straight back. But the thing is with the front, I apply the same sort of mindset as the underarm. So I sort of, let's say I drop 5 stitches in the first row, drop 1, then drop 4, and then drop 1, and then drop 3 to get that sort of parabolic shape. And then I kind of go straight along, let's say 16 rows, and then climb it back up to kind of create that sort of curve shape. By the time I got to day 3, I basically continued the pattern and basically ended how I started. You basically just match exactly what you did on the other side. So same straight rows, and then, you know, go down and go back up. And just to sort of remind everybody, the way I usually close my work is by sort of crocheting the last row by looping the loop through the part that you're going to sew it together by, and then crocheting it like normal, and that sort of just combines the crocheting stitches. Now, however you like to do the edges is up to you. Some people just want to do, you know, single crochets all around the edge, so it's just sort of like how it is. I like to do sort of like a ribbing stitch where I chain 5 and go backwards and forwards all the way down. You do a slip stitch once you get to the edge, twice, chain 1, and then go all the way back up, backwards, forwards to make this sort of like ribbing. But you do whatever you want to do to sort of like clean it up. And yeah, I did wear it out on Sunday. And I actually didn't have any issues with it being warm. I think because it's very warm, holey, despite it looking very fluffy, it functioned fine. I didn't have any issues with it. I wore it with a cute pair of shorts that I wanted to wear with it, that I actually purposely matched with it. And yeah, I actually quite liked it. Now for changes. Last week I had a lot of changes. Well, not a lot of changes. This week, I don't think there's anything I would change at all. It fits fine. I think it looks fine. And I actually based it off a singlet that I already had. So in terms of sort of the way it sort of turned out, I don't think I was disappointed in any particular way. I think it was exactly what I expected. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you liked it, please comment, share, like, subscribe. I don't know. Is that all the things? Is that what YouTubers say? And yeah, any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, I hope that you guys tune in again next week for another little video. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you then. Bye.